Hi everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video, I am going to talk about some of the visual symptoms that you can experience during DPDR, why you get them, and what you can do about them. And I'm also going to talk about what DPDR is, what causes it, and the best way that you can actually get quick and effective treatment to help you out of this, because I know that you want this to stop and you want your life back. For those of you that are new here, welcome to the channel. And this channel is about everything to do with dissociation, so depersonalization and derealization. It has lots of information about how you can overcome it, what it is, and the symptoms are. I've suffered from it for a short time myself. I've gotten over it, and now I am a neuro coach and I help other people overcome it too. So let's get into the video about all that weird stuff that you're seeing with DPDR. Let's have a look at some of the visual effects that happen during depersonalization or derealization. So things that people can experience are things like tunnel vision, or things are 2D instead of 3D. They feel flat. Things that once looked familiar now look unfamiliar, or things can look really overwhelming, or the opposite of that, they can look quite dull or muffled. Also, you can experience things dreamlike. There's fuzzy or snowy, or you can have distorted or blurry vision, or even the size of objects can be altered and the distances that you normally think are normal are altered. These are the main ones. So let's look at why you get them and what you can actually do about it. Generally, one of the first things that people do when they do experience this is they go for an eye exam, but they find that nothing is actually wrong. And I've actually spoken to multiple people who have had multiple eye exams, and the doctors can't actually put a finger on what's happening. And the reason that they can't do that is because what's happening is nothing to do with the eye. It's to do with what's happening in your head and the information that the eye is receiving and how your brain is processing that information. When the mind is anxious, it naturally makes all your senses more sensitive. So, for example, it could dilate your pupils. And if you feel you're in danger, your brain tells your senses to really be on the lookout for danger. The issue when it comes to depersonalization or derealization is that generally there isn't a threat, or if there is a threat, it's a threat that you've created yourself in your mind. So you're putting yourself on this sort of hyper alertness when there really is no need for it to be like that. So is fixing the anxiety the best way forwards? And is that actually the real issue that you're suffering from here? Anxiety is a big thing, and certainly fixing your anxiety does help with depersonalization and derealization. But we can go one step further, and it's not necessarily the anxiety, but it's the meanings that we give to the events that we need to fix, which is essentially causing the anxiety. So let me explain. You can see there the event. This is something that happens. You see your friend during a DPDR episode, and they look unfamiliar to you. So now that event's happened, your brain will automatically give it a meaning. And perhaps the meaning you give to that is, perhaps I don't like them enough to see them clearly. We don't know if this meaning is true or not, but you've still given it to that event. What happens with a meaning is that this meaning forms a belief. So the belief that's created from the meaning you've given to that event is, I'm a bad person for not liking or recognizing my friend. Over time, all these belief systems build up to give you what's called your filter. And it's essentially how you interact with the world and how you understand your world. And this also includes what you see and hear. So everything you see also passes through this filter that you've made yourself, whether you know you've made it this way or not. This is a really important thing to know when it comes to your depersonalization and derealization. The fact that everything you see, hear, experience, go through, every single event, every single tiny bit of information that your brain gets goes through this filter. And the reason it goes through this filter is because your brain gets so much information. Your brain is swarmed with information. And if we sort of try to process all that information, we'd pretty much go insane. So what the brain does to cope and to make sense with all this information is to basically run it through the filter so it's able to sort out all the information quickly. When you are in a heightened state during depersonalization or derealization, even if you don't feel particularly energetic or particularly connected with anything, you are still in an anxious state. And the reason that you're in this anxious state is because of the meanings that you've given things which have given you your filter. For example, there might have been something that happened to you which might not necessarily have been bad, but because your filter needs to process information quickly, what it's going to do, it's going to look at all the past events in your life, which are sort of similar ish to this one event that's happened to you. And it's going to compare it to all of those because it needs to process the information quickly and it needs somewhere to put it. So what your brain is going to do, it's going to go, oh, this is kind of similar and this was sort of bad. So therefore, this situation right now is bad. And that's what's creating your anxiety. But the real thing here is that it might not be bad. The thing that's you're experiencing now might not actually be bad, but you are unconsciously, subconsciously telling yourself that it is bad. So this is feeding into your anxiety, which is then feeding into your depersonalization and derealization. And do you know where that threat comes from? Unless there's physically a tiger chasing you right now, then pretty much that threat is derived in your brain. There is great news if you do suffer from DP or DR, and that great news is there is certainly a way out. Absolutely 100%. It is possible to fully recover from DPDR. And the best way to do that is through talk therapy. And the reason that is the best way is because we can go into your mind and look at all the meanings you've given to things, look at your filter. We can actually change it to benefit you. So all these things that used to seem like a threat are no longer a threat because you've given them a different meaning. So you've got another belief. So your filter system has changed. So when your brain is getting all this information really, really quickly, it's able to process it quickly in a way which is going through your new filter, which essentially you're going to build. If you have learned a little bit from this video, or if you have liked it, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you are notified when a video comes out. And I do lots of videos weekly about all this stuff. And until next time, everybody, have an excellent day wherever you are in the world, and I will speak to you all later. Bye.